Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is StoneMountain64, and in this video, we're going to be covering all of the leaked and rumored information that we know about so far for Titanfall, the full game. As you guys know, I did a lot of coverage on this. I'm getting the early access to the beta, invited out by EA and Respawn, those guys, to go out to LA, play the game early, do some video coverage of it, and that went over terrifically. It looks like there's a very strong interest in this game, and with that, I wanted to follow up, and I've been seeing so many articles posted about these three guys, NeoJaff, Razor UK, and Fallen Fusion, who have been posting a lot of things on Reddit, giving away kind of what the full game is going to entail. So I don't know if any of this is true. I've not been in contact with any of the guys at Respawn or in EA at all. So this is just off of all of the other rumors that have been circulating, and I wanted to put it into video form and put it in one place, since that's my preferential form of watching, and I'm sure your guys' as well. I also wanted to keep my subscribers up to date. And yeah, so let's get into it. There's a ton of things to cover. We've got all 15 maps. There's zip lines, turret hacking, there's a prestige mode, and then we also have the different game modes that are going to be in the full game. So if you guys played the beta, we had the attrition game mode, which is essentially kind of like a team deathmatch, but at the same time you killed the grunts, you got points from that. You killed titans, you got points from that, which led to your total attrition score. And then you also had Last Titan Standing, which was sort of similar to Search and Destroy in Call of Duty, and now Defuse in Battlefield 4, where you have 6-on-6 Titans. And it doesn't matter if the pilots eject and are still alive at the end of the game. It's once all the Titans are wiped out, that's when one team wins, and it's first to 4 rounds, right? And then the final game mode that we know of so far was Hardpoint Domination, which is essentially just domination from Call of Duty. You get your score going up by holding these points, 3 of them on the map. You contest them and control them to get points. That's the only way. Kills don't really matter or anything like that. So we've gotten a little bit more information. A lot of people have already been hearing about Capture the Flag. Now, we don't know all of the details on this yet. You guys can fill me in the description if you know more about this, but from what I know, there's basically, well, there's 3 different types of Capture the Flag. There could be one flag where only one team has the flag. There could be double flags where both teams have flags, but you can only capture it if your flag is at home. And then there's just like the free flags where you can just go to the other team's base, get the flag, and bring it back. Doesn't matter if you have yours, right? And there's a variety of different play styles for this. And then it's also a question, are we going to be able to get into the Titan as the flag carrier? Now, this would be interesting. I would say, you know, if they're trying to keep this realistic aspect, how, you know, your actual character gets into the Titan versus Battlefield where you just teleport into it somehow. Well, there's not really enough room for an entire flag in there, so unless you like mount it on the Titan and then allow people to jump on and take it off, that could be a possibility. Or they might not allow you to get into a Titan at all, and you can only ride on other people's Titans. Things like that. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work. Is it going to be like Halo, where you actually are carrying the flag and have the gun in your secondary, or no gun at all? Or is it going to be like COD, where it's just magically on your back and you're running? So we're going to see about that, but definitely interested. And then we also have this mode called Pilot Hunter, which is being rumored. This is essentially a team deathmatch that only works if you get kills on the pilot. So a lot of people were saying that it's cheap, that you're only going to be able to kill grunts and farm that in the attrition game mode to end up winning the game. You don't even need to find the pilots, right? Well, this is kind of the differential mode, Pilot Hunter, where you're only going to get points. There's still going to be Titans, there's still going to be grunts and AI on the map, and when it comes down and you kill them, you're still going to be able to reduce your time into calling your Titan in. But it's not going to count towards your total score. It's still going to be a team deathmatch type feel where the pilot kills are what matter. So that's Pilot Hunter, Titan, Last Titan Stage. So those are the 5 different game modes that are going to be in the game, pretty much confirmed so far, or what has been rumored or leaked so far, right? Something else that was posted out about half a month ago by NeoJaff and also Razor UK, who I had mentioned previously, posted out some game modes that were also rumored to be in it, and I'm not sure if this is quite as reliable, but they also added on to this Capture the Titan, Uplink, Exfiltration, Elimination, ATDM. Now, I'm not sure what any of those mean or what the modes would actually be, but this was essentially, these guys found this in the Titanfall beta's code. of the game. I have no idea how to do that personally, so I can't really back up how exact these are going to be. But they also found some perk and ordnance names. Some of them, obviously, we had already known, but there was a couple other ones, Ice Pick, and other things which I really don't know what they would even be. So I'll leave the link in the description, as well as the link for everything else, if I didn't mention it already, will be in the description down below. They have ordinances, weapon names as well, and they also mention a turret. Now, this rumor actually gained traction recently because of the fact that Fallen had posted out a picture of one of the sentry guns, of what they actually look like, and said that these aren't actually, you know, like deployable or anything, but they're something that you hack. If you guys remember from my tips and secrets of things that most people don't know about Titanfall beta video, I did a tip, and some of you guys probably already know it, where you can hack the Spectres and switch them from the enemy team as well as all of the surrounding Spectres onto your team, and they'll follow you even if you jump on a roof or anything. This is going to be similar, where you can actually hack these sentry guns, and then they'll be helping you on your team, which, as Fallen, the source for this, actually points out, they're originally autonomous, so they don't actually have a team, but the first person to kind of get to it, hack it, will have it, possibly for the rest of the game, possibly for just a short period of time, and then the other team can come and counter-hack it and get it for their team. They'll shoot Titans, players, etc. This would make sense, though, because if you guys remember in the tutorial portion of the beta, if you actually did that, there were other things that you can use that data knife on, including opening doorways for your Titan to go through. So we're going to see where else this is going to be implemented, but this is one of the rumored ones so far. The final thing I wanted to get into before we took a look at some of these leaked images, we'll talk about them, and then I'll show you all of the campaign maps, is the campaign. Now, this game is not going to have a campaign, except for some stuff in multiplayer that's going to translate. That's what we know so far, pretty much confirmed from the Titanfall guys. We know there's not going to be a campaign. They know they want to implement some sort of minute story there, but the rest of it is really going to be open for kind of lore and that feel outside of the game that you can kind of just read about, that like League of Legends and many other games like that have. We got a better look into what the campaign sort of feeling that they're talking about is from Fallen's post here. He said, without spoiling any story details, there are 9 campaign matches, and you can play them from each side, IMC and Militia, the 2 different factions. The matches consist of 5 attrition and 4 hardpoint games. Playing each side results in different pre-match briefing and chatter during the battles. There are some surprises, which will keep things different from the traditional playing experience. Now, he specifically said in a post after this that he didn't want to reveal any other spoilers or any other information, and that he was sorry to the Titanfall guys if any of this information that he leaked out was going against them. He didn't have anything but the best intentions for the game, as am I. I really love this game. I'm extremely excited for it, and I just want to help drive the hype and kind of let you guys know about it as well, since I'm sure there is that hype already, and I'm sure you guys actually want to know about it. Now I want to switch pace, take a look at some of the photos that have been leaked about the game, and talk about some of the abilities and features, show you guys all 15 of the maps, their overview that we have so far, as well as some of the images from it, and also the prestige system that's in this. If you guys are enjoying the video, though, appreciate this. I definitely appreciate you guys sharing it out, dropping it a like, a comment down below if you are enjoying it. But let's get into this, starting with the prestiges, right? We have this Infinity Ward classic old school team. If you guys know, the guys at Respawn are the old Infinity Ward guys back from Modern Warfare 2 and before. Right, so they like the prestige system, obviously, and they're implementing that same sort of thing into this called Generations. Now, you can take a look at this on screen, read it on your own, but essentially what you have here is their version of that. It'll reset all of your challenges, everything else, but you become, what they say, a better, sharper, more experienced soldier starting at the beginning, right? It's the same exact thing. You're going to prestige, you lose all of your unlocks and everything, and you start back at the beginning, but you'll retain your burn card collection, which is very key. You always want to have your burn cards used, and then you also get an accelerated rate of experience gain at 110%. I can only assume that it'll be 120% at 3rd prestige, and so on, as I imagine that they're going to have that. You're also going to get the unique chip saying that you're 2nd prestige, obviously showing off that you've already kind of gotten to the 2nd generation. But again, all your unlocks and challenges are going to be reset. So you can unlock all those challenges and get all those burn cards again. At the same time, all your weapon attachments and everything, you're going to have to go through and get those challenges done again. Since this isn't like the Call of Duty Go system where you just buy everything with squad points, you have to go through and do that unlock system. So that's going to be a trade-off for some people, and you don't have to go to the second generation or generate yourself, if that's what you want to call it, but that is an option. The next thing I want to talk about, posted by NeoGaf actually a little while ago, is about the XP level and the amount of XP you need per level to go up. So we have 50 levels in total, rumored, and we're going to have the top graph here that you're seeing is actually the marginal cost or the marginal experience needed per level, which essentially means that for every next level, that's how much experience you need. And as you can see, it's constantly increasing at an increasing rate, so it's exponential. And if you look at the bottom graph, that's the cumulative amount of XP you need. So in total, you need, for example, level 50, 900,000 experience. And you can see at the end it goes steeper because of that exponential increase in the marginal. And there you go. Once you get to level 50, you can go to the next generation, and you get that increased experience gain bonus, which, as I mentioned, Generation 1 is 110%. Actually, in the same article that NeoGaf is cited, you have him predicting the next generation's experience bonus as well, as you can see on screen, with the max at Generation 9 to 10 getting a 350% experience bonus. Now, I'm interested is, are you going to be required to get that same experience amount in total of 900,000 and you're getting it at that accelerated rate, or is it going to increase to say 500,000 or a 1 million or 1.5 million total experience you need to get to level 50? That'll be more interesting to see once we do get that full game and people go for the prestiges. But let's get into the next one, the zipline. This has been a lot of people have found this pretty interesting. There's one of the leaked images here. You had this guy holding onto the zip line and moving across. Now, we saw this implemented in Black Ops, actually, the zip line, but I don't know, it didn't seem that useful. It was a quick way to get across the map. In this game, though, with their incorporation of parkour and what they have, this could be a really, really fun aspect. We actually got some more additional detail from Fusion on that post on Reddit. He said zip lines, you can travel both ways, up and down. It's especially helpful in capture the flag and escaping areas quickly. And the way you actually attach to it, you can do it from either end or even mid-air by holding down the reload button to grab onto it, latch on, and ride. Now, that sounds sick and an excellent incorporation of a zipline, not like what we saw from the Black Ops game. Let's go through a couple more of these leaked photos that we've seen. The first one, obviously, very recognizable, which helps with the authenticity of the post. The rest of these definitely look like the game, and they have to do with the maps that I'll show you in a little bit. At least in some way, you're going to be able to resemble or see what's kind of going on. But just take a look at some of these Nexus. That's one of the names of the map, right? So it's pretty verifiable, some of these photos, and these are in-game photos, at least from what we can see. Just kind of going through a couple of them here, you can get an idea of what some of the maps really look like. Gorgeous landscape. This one definitely is probably going to be a favorite with those like kind of islandy features. And this last one is a giant-ass crazy monster. Now that is pretty awesome, and actually I looked up a little bit more detail into this, and I'll put a link in the description down below, but there's an IGN article where IGN actually got their hands on the art book early, and they got to take a look at some of the creatures that are in this game. Yes, creatures. Now, we don't know how they're actually going to interact. Some of them might just be on the maps, you know, and you can kill them. Or they might even come after you. As we've seen earlier with the turrets being implemented, there are some third elements in this game that might be factoring in. At the same time, they might just be off in the distance as kind of a visual, or like in Black Ops 2 in that zombies mode where they had those giant robots stepping down. If you guys remember, that map as one of the DLCs. It could be something like that. So there's a lot of different routes they can go with it, but very interesting, and we've seen there's going to be a variety of different creatures actually going to be implemented in this game. Besides that, in that IGN post, there was the video that kind of showed you the art book. They went through some of it with you. I think that I pulled out the main thing, which was the creatures, but also these weapons that I think maybe a lot of people have missed. I haven't seen this posted anywhere really, but it was kind of right obvious there, and this was from about a half a month ago, but essentially we have this electricity cannon on the bottom, which is supposed to be kind of a more short range kind of weapon, a close range, and then the top one, which is a railgun, kind of like probably, I'm assuming, the 40mm cannon, which is long range, high damage. You know, it's really going to pack a punch at the long range. And by the way, these are Titan weapons that I'm pointing out to you here, so keep that in mind. I'm excited to see what other weapons are going to be in it. Hopefully more than just these two for the Titans, and then I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more normal weapons kind of for the pilots. The final part of this video is going to be the 15 different maps. Yes, 15. The first one is Airbase. We're going to go in alphabetical order here, and it's going to all be in the same format. The overhead sort of view. This is what's been leaked for each of the maps. We also have then that kind of zoom in on each one of them, and unfortunately, I had to actually manually zoom in on all of these, and the quality just is not the best. So if you can bear with me on that, this is the best quality that I could get it at, and I think that you'll be able to see on the internet leaks so far. So we have Angel City up next, which you guys have already seen plenty even in this video. Next one is Boneyard, more of like a desert. It's got like a scarab type thing, skeleton in the middle of this, and it's a deserty type map. I found a few clips of that, and then also a few other images. I tried to include that whenever it was available as well. So you guys can just pause at any point and take a look at this. Next one, Colony. Unfortunately, no other images besides this one has been leaked on it, but it looks like a small town. They still have that kind of metal-y feeling to it. Everything's made out of this metal. Nothing seems to be made out of wood or anything. It's all very futuristic in that sense. Corporate is the next one. It's like a corporation building. It looks like there's a couple cities. Kind of reminiscent of some of the Battlefield 4 maps. If you guys, there's a lot of city maps in that. But statue here, very interesting. It's got some greenery. I like that they're actually making the maps somewhat more colorful. Although, you know, we do have ones like Demeter, the next one, which is very orange, and they do have that as well, kind of one straight color palette. But this was the original image that we had seen hearing about Demeter at the beginning, and now we've seen a lot more. It's kind of pipes all over the place. There's going to be a lot of places to jump and go into. I'm not sure how the Titans are going to really move around on that map. The next one, Fracture. This is one of the maps, again, that we saw in the beta already and has been showcased in this video a little bit. Lagoon is next. This actually had some really cool photos, and like I mentioned a little while ago, I think is going to be the most popular map. A really nice shot here from the back. You can see that giant ship, and then the blues and greens in this map are going to be that colorful, just like a nuke town, just like all of the popular maps have ever been, something that's enjoyable to actually play, and it looks like it's got a lot of variation with the caves, the rocks, and everything on that one. Nexus up next looks like it's going to have a very open outside and then a city in the middle. So probably reminiscent of Angel City, but at the same time, look at that giant office building on the top left. It's going to be very interesting. And this big point, the zipline tower, which, as I mentioned before, the ziplines, you can actually go up the ziplines from what's been rumored so far. So with like 5 ziplines coming off that huge tower in the middle, that could be a pretty fun capture the flag map. Outpost up next. This is very reminiscent for me of like a Halo map, especially from one of the shots I'll show you in a second here. But you're in space out, and a lot of the buildings are, you know, there are a couple floors, but the overall scenery on that one definitely reminiscent of being on the ring on Halo. Overlook is next. Another kind of general map. This one looks like it's going to have a lot of indoors areas. So we'll see how that factors in. I don't really know how the Titans are going to be able to move around too much on that one, as, you know, look at all these indoor locations that you have here. It's probably going to be more a pilot-oriented, could be capture the flag map as well. The next one, Relic, a little bit more old, run-down area. We had this picture as well. You can see this Odyssey ship. This was actually in that previous one, and looks like it's been crash-landed here, and you've got a couple old buildings to work with, bit of greenery is gone over it, some tilted areas, which might be interesting. Rise looks like probably one of the smallest maps that I think I've seen. We didn't really have too many photos from this one, unfortunately. I would love to see some more of this. I think this might also be a very popular one. This was one of the shots I think went with it pretty well. If you take a look at some of the other shots here, as well, zoomed in on those smaller pictures. A couple outdoors areas, deserty, and some greenery on it. Smuggler, though, this is a very, what looks like to be a large map. Half of it just being water that I'm pretty confident you can run on here, since it is part of the map there. And you've got kind of that hydro dam area, but you can see half of that map is just kind of water. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be a strong Titan map, and you can even see what looks to be like a creature in that one on the water there. And then the final one, Training Ground. If you guys actually played in the beta doing the training mode, this was one of the maps that you were on that wasn't actually in the playable beta scene. So this is going to be a full multiplayer map. This is actually some footage from the training mode here. So he was just going against those NPCs, but great to see it actually implemented into the multiplayer. It looks like a very evenly balanced map with very little indoor areas. Definitely going to be strong for Titans. But if you made it to this point in the video, I hope I earned your like. A comment down below. If you are new to my channel, subscribe. You can check out the previous video if you want to see some more Titanfall. I talk about some tips and secrets that are not too commonly known. Went over incredibly well. A lot of you guys were grateful for that. And then the recommended, where I have my YOLO on the Battlefield series, which I'm actually going to be also implementing into Titanfall once that's fully out. I'd appreciate if you guys shared this video out with some friends, social media, wherever. I definitely am grateful for that. Help some more people learn about the game, and I think some pretty unique things that not too many people know in this video. So thanks so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time. This is StoneMouse64 signing out.